In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace these reflectors on the rear bumper to be functional reflectors that I bought off of eBay that are going to blink when you press the brake and will give the turn signal when you turn right or left. In order to get started, we would have to remove the interior matting and get to the back side of the panel so that we can access the light. Because this light is going to attach to the connector for your brake light and your turn signal. So in order to do so, you're going to have to remove the plastic backing, this black right here. These are just simple clips that you basically put a screwdriver in here and pull out. And we're going to do the same to this so that we can pull this area out and have access to the back of the light. So let me get this started and show you where I get to. When removing this piece here, you want to make sure you find where the plastic tabs are and you use one of these tools here to pry the tab open. Otherwise you may end up breaking either the connector in here or the white plastic connector that you see in here. Either way, you want to minimize the damage. These tools can be bought on Amazon for dirt cheap. Definitely make use of these. So we're underneath the car, and so you can see the bolt that is holding the, you can see, I'm trying to get my hand in here. Here's the tab on this side, and then there's the bolt right there that you've got to remove. And then there's another, here's one tab, here's the bolt, and then the other tab is on that side. That you need to push on to get it to remove the reflector. So this is a 10 millimeter bolt. Basically, you reach in like this in order to be able to access the bolt using a ratchet, as simple as a ratchet, and remove the bolt, push on the tabs on this side, and then push on the tab on this side, and this light will pop out. So this is what the opening looks like. The bolt is right there, the two tabs. This is what it looks like. Now that we've got this removed, the next thing is to remove this plastic piece, because what we're going to do here, like I've done on this side, we're going to pull the wire through. I've got a rubber pipe that I've passed through. We're going to put it through that hole so that it comes out on the back side, so that this way it's a clean install. No wires come up through here, go between the seal, and then they come back into the car. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it up through here. We're going to fish it through this hole. I'm at the moment not going to remove the light. I'm just going to tie the wire to this thing at the bottom, pull this up. Once the wire comes through here, I'm going to put a hook through here and pull it through here so that I can then fish the wire through that hole. So this is the trim piece that goes over here that we removed. As you can see right here, there's two tabs that go into these two holes right here, and then there are small tabs here and here which go into here, and they clip in there. In order to remove this, you basically have to take one of these tools right here, and what you end up doing is prying this part out first, and then from here you work your way so that you can push this piece away from the car in this direction. You got to work on it sideways, come to the bottom, put it through here, and pop it loose. And then with enough push when we're using one of these things, and you've got a note in here that the plastic piece goes behind the light, so you've got to pull it out so that this piece can then be pulled off the vehicle towards you. It's a little tricky, it takes a little bit of effort, but one of these tools is necessary so that you don't damage your paint here or here, and you want to make sure that this lip does not stay stuck behind this light, otherwise this piece won't come out. So I'm now going to get the tail light, this new reflector installed, tie the end of this wire to the end of this pipe that's hanging down below, and then I'm going to fish the wire through. Before I went ahead and pulled the wire through, I just wanted to quickly connect these wires in and make sure that the lights were working. I don't want to go through all this work and to find out that this stuff is not working. So I unplugged the cable that goes. I unplugged this wire that goes to the back side of the headlight, tail light, I mean. And then basically, this is the arrangement that I used. I lost the instruction manual, so I had to play with the wires. The black wire is obviously going to go into the black and white. Oh, sorry, here, let me just try to get into the black and white. And that's pretty straightforward. The next one over, I plugged in the white wire, plugged in the red, and then plugged in the blue into these wires. You just have to play with what you got, look at the instruction manual that came with the lights, and just make sure that when you do give the right turn signal, you know, the right blinker is working, and so is the new LED reflector light that you bought. And make sure that when you put the brake on, the light flashes, and then when you do run your headlights, that the light is actually on. So just make sure that the functionality of the light is working, and that's basically it. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull this wire through, and then show how I finally pull it through this hole right here. So let me get started on that. One thing I noticed when installing these lights, from the front they look very similar, but when you look at them from the top, you'll notice that the new lights are a lot more thicker. So the key thing to note here is I had fitment issues. So whereas before, the end of this light was not visible, however now the end of this light is visible here. So I'm gonna play with the fitment a little bit and see if I can get it in, but it is definitely much bigger, much meaning even slightly bigger. It prevents it from sitting in properly. So I'm gonna play with the sitting on this thing. So I'm pretty sure each manufacturer is going to be a slightly different fitting. I'm surprised that they would be this much off. Anyhow, that is one thing that you will have to do something about if your light does not fit correctly. For me, however, it's a little too late because I bought these lights like 8 months ago. So one of the suggestions that I would have for you is to install these as soon as you get them, so that if you have any fitment issues, you're able to return them. So I'm going to get the other side installed and try to get a good fitment, and we'll go from there. There is one thing that I forgot to mention. When you're sending the wire through, you're sending it through the side where the wire is, so it's towards the inside of the bumper, at least on my lights, towards the center of the vehicle, I mean. So just make sure when you do, you're not sending it through the middle hole, because that's going to be where the bolt is going to go through. So that's basically it. Okay, I've got the wires run through. As you can see, I've got the wire coming up behind here, goes through on the back side, and it goes through the hole, comes out from behind, and then I've got it, let me focus in here, so I've got it connected to the connector right here. I've zip tied this side up so you can see what it looks like. You also want to seal the back of that hole, because you are going to have water that runs down this track. It's going to come down, and once it's a hole, it will want to come inside, so just want to seal that up. That's why there was a sticker there over the hole to cover up, keeping the water in. On this side, I've
done the wiring a little differently. As you can see, I just sent the cable through here, and then I took it in from behind here into the hole, and then on the inside I have not put the wires together, but what I did do here is leave them untied so I can show you how I've ended up pushing the pins in. Just simply use a plier, and like I said, you just want to make sure you use the wiring diagram that you've been given, and then end up inserting the cable pins into each slot. Basically, it ends up wedging itself between the current wire that's in there and the body, and there's a small hole that leads to the back side of the pin, which is what I believe the end of the pin then wedges into. So I've got this wire area done. So this is what it looks like uncaulked. So you want to make sure you end up putting some type of caulking on there. Just buy a small tube for $1 or something like that, and then just seal that hole up. And then basically you end up tying the wire up so that you don't have any rattling noise. So I'm gonna get this side all tied up, get this opening blocked up with some caulking, and then I'll be done. One thing that you do want to note before you end up tying any of the wires or ending up sealing it, even though you've tested the wire connections before, you want to test run and make sure the wires and the signals are working the way they're supposed to, so that everything is working before you make the final wire tie and the caulking, because you don't want to end up having to remove that and make a mess of it. So I've got everything put back in. These covers are back on. The cover on here is back on again. Basically, when you install the cover, make sure you slide it into here first, and then you pop it in. Slides in. The inside is all done. Got the inside of this side is pretty much all done as well. While you're at it, if you're one of those cars that have a spare tire, this would be a good time to take it out and add the air that you need to. According to the tire, it's supposed to be 60 psi. In my spare, I only have 20. So either you carry a pump in the car, which is a good idea, a portable pump that runs off your 12-volt outlet, or you make sure on a regular basis that the air is filled in. So I'm going to go ahead and pump the air up to 60 psi in this tire, and then install it back inside, and then we'll go ahead and put the mats back in. And then since it's daytime, it's not easy to see the lights in operation. So all I'll do is as soon as the sun sets, I'll go ahead and show you how it looks like. So I've got the lights installed, and as you can see, the two lights at the bottom are lit up. So this is normal lights on. Go ahead and press a brake. As you can see, the lower two reflector lights now blink. Let go, and then they center back again. Right turn. So as you can see, it helps with the visibility for a right turn. Let's do a left turn. We got the left, and then press a brake, and as you can see that the left turn indicator now stops for the reflector light on the bottom, but it does blink. So let go of the brake, and it continues with doing a left turn. So turn the signal off. So that's basically it. What we'll do is I'll take a shot during the daytime as well, so that you can get an idea of what it looks like during the daytime.